Darren, thank you for taking the time to update supporters. Firstly, I guess you'd want to echo the rest of the football world in saying that taking a break from the game while we dealt with more pressing matters was absolutely the right thing to do.
Yes, without a doubt. I fully support everything, taking a break away from football because first things first, for everybody connected is not just through football but in general society as a whole is the health, and that's got to be the main concern for everybody, and no different here at football, and that was the rightful thing to do. So to have the break while we get our heads together, minds together, and structure something together for the best for everyone concerned and connected was the rightful thing to do.
The players have had a bit of time off. What have they been doing while they were away from the football club?
Yeah, they've been off. I thought it was the right time to give them a small but extended break because with a lot of the confusion and everything that was happening, I think it was best for them to be at home and be reassured with their loved ones and families, and just to sit back and let things settle down a bit. Things have panned out a little bit, so what we have done is, certainly today, we got them back in today and just gave them a general training session today, just to get them back into it. It was good to see them more today. They were in good spirits. They looked like they wanted to get back out there on the training pitch. And now the camaraderie between them all was as ever impressive. So it was good to see them today, and they're putting a good training session today. So we're just working as we go along day by day. And should things change from the government perspective or from the EFL perspective, then we'll change accordingly as we're told.
What did you have the lads doing? I guess you were training, you imagined you had a game on the 4th of April against Stanley, so were you working towards that game at that time? Yes,
well what we did today would have been the generic session just to get the bodies back into it, and then sort of tomorrow, Friday and Saturday was detailed sessions in terms of working towards that game, which we believed at the time would have been Tranmere. But as we learnt today, that's no longer the case because the EFL have set guidelines that is structured us now towards the 30th of April. So we're working towards that now. We'll get our heads together over the next sort of 24, 48 hours as a staff, the medical department, sports science, coaching department, and the wider extended staff in terms of detailing, training going forward, because mentally, psychologically and physically the players, we have to look at devising a programme that keeps those players engaged on all those aspects.
Can you talk us through some of the precautions that were taken at the training ground? I know the under-18s and under-23s were kept away, so it's a little bit different to your normal training day.
Yeah, what we did was we limited right down to skeleton staff, really. We gave the training ground a top from bottom deep clean while we exit. Everybody's at the building for a week. We gave the training ground a real thorough deep clean through, and just got it prepared for when we come back. Once we return back to the training ground, it's just the first team staff, and it's a skeleton staff at that. So you got the squad and just the staff and a few more extended kitchen staff, etc., there. So we're back at the training ground. Those measures were taken. What was taken was the players to travel in now individually, arrive at the training ground at a certain time on the pitch, so really collect kit, get onto the pitch. We've structured training a little bit later so players could have breakfast from home, gives them time to digest their foods and come in, where they would come in and have breakfast with us. They would have had it at home, and then we've then trained them in open spaces. We've limited gym contact where they're in sort of confined spaces together as a group, and also then we've given them a high-level protein snack to take away with them, that when they do get back home they can then prepare a proper lunch as well to add towards that protein snack, really. So in terms of that going forward, so what we have done is limited any classroom time that we've had. We've done most of our work and talking on the training ground in open, in the air, in open spaces, and we've conducted it that way. Strengthening conditioning work will be done outdoors as well. So we've really limited it down, but we've really made sure that we can get our detail work and get the physical conditioning into them, because as much as they are finely tuned athletes, they still need that physical conditioning, and they still need that hand and ball eye coordination in terms of working and training. So all those aspects have been taken into consideration in terms of procedures given to us by the government and certainly the EFL, rules and guidelines in terms of how we're conducting ourselves until told otherwise.
So what's the plan going forward? There won't be a game now until May. How soon are the players back in training? How different will it be from the normal routine?
Yeah, next week's going to change. We had a full week's training plan for next week, but we've got to look at that now because, as I said, it's something that's new to me. Certainly as a manager, you're not competing for that game that you would on a Saturday, but what you have got to do is take duty care in terms of the players' health first and foremost, but also you've got to look at their conditioning and keeping them mentally active because, as you've heard, that the EFL want to fulfil the fixtures, want us to finish the fixtures off. So we've been given a date now to work to the 30th of April, and we'll be working towards that. Obviously now our training programme and schedule has changed, and as I said, over the next 24, 48 hours, we'll come together as a staff and detail a training session which we feel would be right for the players in terms of going forward and keeping them mentally and physically active, in terms of keeping themselves right for that time when it does come to play football. We're ready for it.
You mentioned that EFL keen to finish the season, play those final 10 games. I'm guessing you would think that was the right aspiration to have. Yes,
I fully endorse it, I fully support it, because of where the season's at thus far. There's been a lot of confusion surrounding it. The EFL have come out and said they want to fulfil those fixtures and support the clubs in terms of fulfilling those fixtures. So it's the right thing to do. The break what we've had, we must reiterate that they want to support it, but also support it from a safety aspect in terms of health. And that's why the time has been given in everybody being away from the game, so that people can sort of get time to look back and reflect and put together a programme that they feel is sufficient for everybody connected with the football clubs in terms of going forward. To what that's going to be, we'll wait and see, because obviously there's more information yet to come out how we're going to fulfil those fixtures. But up until then, as it stands now, as we're speaking, as we are now, they're looking to fulfil those fixtures. So I fully endorse it. I understand it, and as I said, my next duty is now I've been instructed that no football won't be played until the 30th. It's been moved from the 3rd and the 4th to the 30th, so we adjust our training schedule and plan around that.
We've seen a few initiatives proposed by the football club with staff ringing elderly supporters, working with charity, taking food bank donations. I guess that's really reinforces the role that a club can play in the community at a time such as this.
Yeah, and it's really important that through something that none of us would have foreseen, it's good that here at Club Doncaster that we've made and adjusted and made measures in terms of recognising the community. We offer a support to the elderly in the community in terms of going and visiting and seeing them, or there is a sort of a helpline here for the support for them. Great that we're all coming together as a football club. It's great that the community look on the football club as a focal point. It's good that the football club has got staff members that are able to get out in the community and add that support to the elderly. And it's why Club Doncaster says it in the name. We're a community-based football club, and we're a club that serves and helps the community in all aspects of life, really. So this is a moment now where even more so to reach out, and we're doing just that. So fully support it. It makes me proud and honoured to be a manager at this football club, knowing that there's such wonderful work going on within the community.
Finally, for me, do you have a message for fans at this time who will be wondering about the future for the team and the club, but more importantly, for their families and loved ones?
Yeah, first things first is obviously be safe, stay safe with your loved ones. Support each other as a family, but also internally as a community as well. You know, you can, that support and love that you got for your families, you can extend that out into the community. The first things first, let's put football on the back burner. It's your health and your safety. That's paramount. Let's look at that. Then afterwards, you know, we'll look at the football aspects and seeing how we can fulfill and engage that. We know that the fans want to keep that support for the team. We know that the fans want to engage. We know the fans want to know what's going on, and that's why we're on here explaining what's been going on. And you know, we'll give further updates as we go along. I'm happy for that. But the big thing for me in terms of management here is you know, is to support and be there for your families, and in terms of that, for the communities as a whole, extend that. And then as we go along, as you've seen, you know, the EFL will instruct us in terms of how we're going to go forward as a footballing community in terms of fulfilling the fixtures and that. But it's a time for us all. We're facing difficulties at the time, and everybody's facing them, but everybody will face the difficulties together, and I think that's the best thing in terms of going forward, and that would be my message to all the Doncaster Rovers supporters in terms of, you know, wondering what's happening in here within the football club.